What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Pursuing Purpose, episode 3. Today, I'm joined by my friend, mentor, fellow worshiper, Jordan Hinson. Let's go. I'm so excited.
You can just call me Joe.
Yes.
Thanks.
Joe. I do apologize for that.
No formalities needed.
Right. She prefers Joe, and that's J-O.
Not J-O-E.
Not J-O-E. Not, the cool Joe. So, joined by Joe, we're going to be talking about friendships today, healthy friendships. So, Jordan, just go ahead and introduce yourself, kind of tell the people who you are, all about you.
So my name's Joe. I don't really know what to say about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am a girl who tries to live her life authentically.
Let's go. She's an influencer.
That's so cringe. I don't see myself as that whatsoever.
She's an influencer.
I'm an influencer to like 5 people who follow me on Instagram.
Okay, so if you watch her stories, like when she went to
Utah.
Yeah, Utah. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I blanked there.
It's okay.
She did like a whole influencer thing and posting her outfits and everything, and
people wanted to see it.
it was good. I thought it was so good.
People asked for it, so I'm gonna give the people what they want.
I love it because you're
One
so
thing about
real. Because you're so real.
Thanks.
That's why people love it.
Thanks. So, what details do you want?
I don't know. School, job.
I work at Branches, formerly known
Nice.
as Branches Counseling Center. We're just Branches now because we do so much.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school at MTSU, graduated mid-pandemic. Literally didn't walk for graduation. Very sad.
I remember the car parade we did. For
Yes.
Bro,
the real
that
MVP
was
showed
lit.
up. The real MVPs did.
Literally during COVID, that became a huge thing. The car parades.
Yeah, because that's really all you could do. We did that for my birthday too. My birthday's in April. This is literally almost a week after my birthday.
Yes.
25 now. 25.
Let's go.
Quarter of a century.
She can rent a car.
Yes. Will I? Probably not.
But she can.
But we did that for my birthday too. We did a little car parade. Very fun.
Let's go.
Very fun.
That's awesome.
Work at Branches. My husband is Dylan.
Yes.
That's what you guys know.
He's married. Check the ring.
Married.
Let's go.
Cha-ching. Anything else? I think that's about it.
That's a good little introduction.
Yeah.
We'll get more into who you are and stuff. So, let's do some icebreakers. This is something that
she didn't give me this beforehand, so I'm kind of scared.
So, look, I send the talking points, like questions for like the main topic, but I do not send the icebreakers ahead of time. And so I'm very excited for these. This is like the funnest part, probably. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So, the first one. What is your most used emoji? And I feel like you can tell a lot about a person by their emojis that they use.
Mine, it switches. So I'll give you my current top emoji.
I think.
Let's see.
See, I checked mine today, and I'm like, this could not be real. It's just like the prayer hands.
Okay.
Right.
Boring.
Exactly. I'm like, that's
just
not
kidding.
real.
So let's see what mine is. Oh, this is very fitting.
I got a few up in here that are pretty good.
Mine's this.
Yes, that's my second one.
I do that a lot.
Right.
I send it to everyone.
That's
my second most used one.
I have the eyes.
It's a laughing face.
Yes.
Laughing with the tears. With the tears. I also use the smiling, but with tears in them. Mm-hmm. Those are my top 3.
Yep. My top 3 are the prayer hands, the heart, and the praise hands. Where it's like
also another one that's very telling for my personality is the emoji where it's literally just the eyes and the tongue sticking out.
I don't use that one a lot, but that's a good one.
Oh, I do.
I use the double eye one where it's like, that one. I use that one a lot.
That's good. You gotta add some people who don't text with emojis. Please text me.
Yeah, add some
so we can break this down.
Right.
Y'all trying to think it's not fun and texting shouldn't be that.
No, it's fun.
It's gotta have some personality. So that's just me.
Exactly.
Whatever.
All right, that's good. Okay. Who has the best French fries in town? Or just anywhere?
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
And I feel like I'm gonna go with an OG answer. A lot of people would go with Chick-fil-A or something. And I really enjoy it. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not taking it because they do have good French fries.
I have other ones, but I think Chick-fil-A, they just have such a unique thing. And if they're hot with salt and everything, I think they're pretty fine.
I like this is a weird word. Hang with me. I like the eatability of a waffle fry because you can fold it, get more sauce.
Yes,
it's a mouthful.
Exactly,
it's not one French fry that's not.
I like that word. Eatability.
My favorite is a good hot crunchy, salty McDonald's French fry.
That's good. Oh my gosh. Okay, I literally asked my mom this question. She was like McDonald's, and she doesn't. We don't eat McDonald's. She doesn't like McDonald's food, but French fries. Like we'll just go and get a basket of French fries just to have. Like Kaylee would get that a lot going to cheer and stuff.
Yeah.
She would just pick up a basket of French fries and like a Dr. Pepper or something.
Yep.
They're solid. If they're hot.
I'm a McDonald's
ready,
fan.
you know?
I'll say that. Oh, and it's got to be extra salty.
Yes, get that extra salt.
You can get hot, crunchy, steamy, yummy, fresh French fries, but if they don't have salt, it's a miss. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's just where it is. Oh my gosh. Me and Danielle, though, y'all need to know, we've got some history. She's really got some strong opinions about some food choices.
Okay, we're going to get to that. Trust me.
Okay.
We're sticking on the food.
We'll talk about it later.
We're sticking on the food thing for a while, but trust me, that's a topic we're going to cover.
Oh, I'll talk about that all day long.
Okay. Okay, we're going to stay on the food thing.
Okay.
If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, that is not a question I can answer.
Right.
So a meal can have multiple courses, correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
So, like, I'm going to have multiple cuisines up in here, okay?
Okay.
We're going to start with some chips and salsa.
Yes, that was my mom's answer.
Probably, like, chips and salsa from Chili's.
Right. Hey, let's go.
Chips and salsa from Chili's. Then I'd start with, maybe an appetizer sushi roll.
Yes. That was my answer.
Appetizer sushi roll. Now. Then I really do enjoy a good pizza. Mm-hmm. So maybe a couple slices of pizza.
Yeah.
And for dessert, I definitely want to go to Andy's. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get an ooey gooey. What is it called? Concrete, I guess. Mm-hmm. There's also a lot of things I'm missing in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, nuances.
It's a good palate, though.
Yeah, I have a very diverse palate. I love all the cuisines.
Yeah.
What's yours?
So I'm thinking if you had to pick one thing.
Oh, sorry guys. I didn't follow that rule.
Good. That's a great
I
answer.
can't pick one thing.
I said right now I would say sushi, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been on a
She's
sushi
obsessed
kick.
with sushi. It's actually kind of scary.
Yeah. I've been on a sushi kick, right? Now chips and salsa is a good one. I would drink that sucker, as you know.
Y'all. Pause. We're going to insert a video here.
Yes.
Is that good? Okay, and
there we go.
Literally a straw in her mouth in the cup. Well, listen, I'll eat some Chewies too.
Right.
Ooh.
No, okay. Here's what happened though. So Nick, I didn't even know the straw was in there. Nick puts a straw in the salsa, and I looked down. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a straw in the salsa. And he's like,
someone's got to drink it.
I was like, okay, I guess if I have to, I'll drink. So I drank the salsa, and she took a video and put it on her story. The crazy thing is, my mom was at another Mexican restaurant the same night, at the same time. She was telling my dad, man, I really just want to drink this salsa right now. And then she opens her phone, and it's literally a video of me drinking this.
It's in the blood.
So it was.
It's in their blood.
It's just a God thing. We were having a moment.
Interesting.
But yeah, I probably do like sushi or chips and salsa.
Okay.
Those are pretty solid. But
I agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
They're probably the best.
Right.
I love a crispy wonton. Some Asian cuisine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't love rock and roll sushi.
Yeah, I'm not a big
But they
fan
have
of
good
either.
appetizers.
Mm-hmm.
Which, everything fried is good.
Yeah.
Let's all be honest with ourselves. But, I could talk about it all day.
Right.
I could talk about it all day.
Okay, we do have one more food thing, though.
I know what you're going to ask.
So, me and Jordan have this feud, and it's been happening for many years now, actually. I'm just going to say it. Moes versus Chipotle. Okay.
We have very different answers, and we will fight about this. We will scream fight about this.
Literally. It's just an ongoing thing. We have, very differing points of view on this, but...
I'm Team Chipotle. I literally
Moes,
could probably put stock in Chipotle. I've eeaten it so much, and I will continue to eat it so much.
I just feel like, okay, look. Moes has more options. They have, nachos, and, I feel like they have, more meat and, more things you can add on. I feel like Chipotle has, rice, cheese, and, what's that stuff? Cilantro? You know what I'm saying?
They don't have cilantro that you can put on your things.
Oh, see, that's another thing. They don't have cilantro. There, that's fine.
I feel like...
But it just doesn't have as much, I feel like. Okay. And, I love nachos, and they don't have nachos. They literally have bowls and, burritos, and that's it.
Okay, so my perspective is... I like the things at Chipotle so much that you don't need a ton of ingredients to put inside of your bowl. I love the flavors enough. It's just, it's perfect. To me, this is just to me, Moes does not have a ton of flavor, and it tastes very cheap. So that's where I sit. I understand why people like Moes. Their queso probably is a little bit better than Chipotle, but that's not really what Chipotle's known for. So, like,
Yeah,
I'm not upset that they're not good at queso. Because if I'm going to, like, a fast, casual Mexican place, I'm not like, oh, I really want some chips and queso.
Right.
I'm going to get the guac, that's for sure. We could talk about that all day. But, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
We can still fight about it, but at the end of the day, we're going to be on either side of the equation.
Yeah. And I do like Chipotle. Like, I've been to Chipotle. I get a bowl. It's good.
She doesn't hate her time. Let's talk about that.
I don't hate it.
Do I hate Moes? Moving on, next question.
Haters gonna hate, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Haters gonna hate.
And I will hate. Moving on.
That's all the icebreakers that I have. So
Okay, very
thank
fun.
you.
Those were good.
Yes, snaps for that segment of icebreakers. Everyone's favorite
Those
part,
were good.
apparently.
Those were good.
Okay, so let's talk
hit
about
the microphone.
you.
I'm so
You were married like very young.
Yes.
Like consider you were 19,
Yes.
right?
As
19.
a child.
Okay, like let's talk about that for a little bit. What was it like being married so young? How old was Dylan?
Dylan was 21.
Okay.
Barely.
Okay. So like year and a half difference or something? 2 year difference?
2 year difference.
2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got married young. So I
Yeah.
got married when I was 19. I got engaged less than a month after I graduated high school.
Wow.
Wild.
That's crazy.
We got we got engaged in June. Then we got married in that next August of 2017. So this year we'll be married 6 years.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's crazy. I feel like it's been so much longer though.
I know. It feels like forever.
Like I feel like I've known y'all because we became friends when y'all were already married.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like
Danielle
it's
was
been
not at my
longer
wedding,
than
guys. She really holds
No.
that against me still. But like, we knew each other. We really did.
that. We knew we were not like this though.
No.
No. I feel like today.
She would have been in my wedding.
Yeah, I was like today if you were getting like you'll for sure be in my wedding. But like today if you were getting married.
Pause. We will reference back to this podcast whenever she does get engaged and married one day. And if I'm not in her wedding, I'm suing.
She's gonna hold it against
Moving
me.
on.
I'll probably cut that part out.
Oh my gosh,
Anyways.
Danielle. Okay.
But yeah, we were not that close. So it's a joke, but I kind of do hold it against
I wish
you.
we were. There's that starting off. That's one thing I wish, and that maybe I'm realizing now that is something that you really have to deal with later when you do get married young, is when you're kind of in your young adult years, kind of like me and Dylan are now in our 20s. That's so awkward.
Oh. No, it's not.
Oh, Sirius XM's calling everyone. I don't even have a subscription with them. I don't know why they're calling. You don't have your core group of friends when you're 19 that you find when you're in your 20s. And in my opinion, and I feel like a lot of people can attest to this, some people can't, and that's okay because we live different lives. But really, in your 20s is where you find your core group of people.
Yeah.
It's just the age where everyone's doing the same thing and everyone's looking for community. So everyone's needing each other.
Yeah.
And we're committed and we're loyal and we love each other and we love each other in practical ways. We go out to dinner together. We'll go have sleepovers. We'll do movie nights. We'll do whatever. But you don't have that when you get married at 19. So we literally have a whole separate group of friends than we did when we got married. It's wild.
Yeah.
Me and Dylan like talk about sometimes like what would our wedding look like now if we got married at this age? Completely different. We would have way more people there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Which I
for
love.
sure.
Like I only talked to my sister was one of my bridesmaids. And Brittany Spicer, the OG, my BFF.
Right.
She was one of my
love you,
bridesmaids. God
Brittany.
bless her. We love you, Brittany. Little
Nick's-
ASMR.
Nick's cool too, I guess, but
Oh.
it's really Brittany.
Yeah, we do love you, Nick. He was there.
Right.
He actually was very kind. He took pictures of all of us girls getting ready. It was very
Aw.
sweet. We love you, Nick. We really do. That was just a joke. We really do love you.
Right.
But I probably only talked to like 2 of my 5 bridesmaids on a regular basis.
Yeah.
3 maybe. But like, things just change.
Yeah.
Another thing that I thought of for getting married young, which this is more of like a reflecting now kind of thing. And I'm going to be the one that's going to like say it how it is. And it's real. Danielle knows this. Everyone
Yes.
in
That's
real
what I
life
love
knows
about her,
this.
though. That's what I love
I'm
about her.
authentic and I'm going to say it how it
Yes.
is. Even if it like is a little brutal and it's a little honest, that's the way life has to be sometimes.
Yes.
So no marriage is perfect.
Absolutely.
If someone tells you that, they're probably lying. Sorry. Hate to
They're
burst your
probably
bubble.
not married.
Yeah, they're probably not married. And Dylan and I are in this season of, I think a perfect word is reconstructing the base of the marriage that we built when we were young. Mm-hmm. Because when you're 19, you don't know what healthy communication looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Or you know what healthy communication looks like for a 19-year-old,
mm-hmm.
but you don't know what that looks like when you both work full-time jobs and you're committed to church and you have friendships and your life looks completely different than it did when you first got married. So that's kind of in the season that we're in right now. Mm-hmm. We're not rebuilding because nothing's crumbled.
Yeah.
But we're reconstructing and becoming stronger than we ever have been.
That's a good word, like a good use of word. Right
exactly.
There.
And
absolutely.
being intentional. Mm-hmm. Being intentional with the time that you have together when every other minute is spoken for in the day. Mm-hmm. You have to choose to spend time with your partner. I'm going to say your spouse, your husband, whatever. Mm-hmm. You really have to. Because that is where your relationship is built. And it continues to grow. And it continues to be cultivated. And it continues to stay rooted in the things that really matter to you. For us, it's faith, it's friends, it's family, it's all the 3 F's.
Faith, family, and fun.
Friends.
Oh.
Family and friends. So that was good. Danielle's really listening here, everyone. She's really taking this all in.
This is why we're besties. First word of advice for friends: someone that makes you laugh. That's what you need.
That's why I'm here, everyone. Right. I don't really know what else I contribute to this thing, but that's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a laugh.
That's such good advice, though.
Yeah,
it's so good.
That's really all I have to say. What it's like being married so young is almost 6 years in, taking a deep breath and saying, okay, we are not 19 anymore. Mm-hmm. What can we do now that's going to sustain us for the next 10, 20, 30 years? Mm-hmm. We don't have kids yet, so we've lived our 6 years together. I mean, of course, we've been together many, many years before we got married. We met when we were freshmen in high school. That's a whole nother story. Maybe you can bring me on and we can talk about that whole story about how we met and all of that stuff. But we've been together for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. So we've lived 10 years together, just us, being selfish with our time. Mm-hmm. But along with being selfish with our time, we can focus on each other and not worry about sharing it with a tiny human. We do have a little dog. Her name's Ginger, and she's great. And she really does take a lot of attention.
We love you, Ginger.
But she's perfect. But she also is not a child. She's not waking up in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah.
She's not as involved whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So now we're really trying to use this time to make sure that our future looks the way that it needs to.
Yes.
So.
No, that's awesome.
That's what I have for that one, guys.
This wasn't even supposed to be relationships, but that's amazing. What you just
I could
said.
talk about that for a long time.
Oh, no. That's for real. Okay. I love that. Oh, that's so good.
Okay. That was good. Nugget number 1.
Right.
Done.
Yes.
Check.
We'll clip that. I'll put some kind of clip on Instagram or something.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to move into friendships. I thought Jordan would be the perfect person to talk about friendships with. We've been friends for a while. Since I feel like we started becoming like really good friends when I was like a sophomore.
During the pandemic.
Yeah.
What grade were you
sophomore. Or the pandemic started when I was a sophomore.
I would pick her up when we were supposed to be locking down. Mm-hmm. Don't tell nobody this because I don't get arrested. Right. But I would pick her up. Poor Danielle. She literally rode with me in the car. And I was like, I literally just need to get out of my house. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to come pick you up and we're going to drive. I drove her to the big fat city of Laverne.
She's showing me around all her, like, her
high
old
school
house, your old high school, like, all around there. So, like, some place you guys used to eat when you were kids. Just like, which was
none of this is fancy, by the way. None of this is like,
right.
Nobody wants to lay their eyes on this stuff. I don't know why I took her here. There was the only place I could think about that was like 30 minutes away. I'm hungry. You hear my stomach?
Yeah, I can hear that. I don't
Far
know if
enough
y'all
away.
heard that. But
LOL. Hopefully you didn't.
Noises.
But yes. So I'm about to slide off this stool. Yeah, probably around the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And then we did our little drive and got snacks at the gas station.
Yes.
And then we went back to your house and then stuck our feet in the pool and sat there and talked for forever.
Yes, we ate Talkies and stuff.
Yep.
Especially like at the beginning of our friendship. I think it was like in the summer. And so like you and Dylan would come over and swim after work or something. That was really fun. We haven't done that in a while though. But this summer is going to be popping.
I will be there every day.
I was gone last summer.
Yeah, she was gone last summer.
But it's okay, I'm back.
And now she ain't.
I'm back, so now you can have fun.
Love that. Yay.
Yeah, so we've been good friends. We started off because she was a youth leader, and that's kind of, and we both did worship together. So she really started off as a mentor to me. She still is a mentor, but that's kind of how we started off. And our friendship has just grown. And now that I'm
Now
an
we're
adult,
more sisters.
yes, I would say she's definitely more like a sister to me now.
Yes, her parents have adopted me. Officially, my name is Jordan Green.
Yes.
Thank you.
Not even hyphenated, just Green.
Just Green. Forget everything else.
Right, she drops
Forget
Sparks,
Dylan. Forget Sparks.
Right,
forget
everything.
Yeah.
Jordan Green, we love it. Joe Green.
I'm here for it.
Right. So let's talk about the first kind of thing. It's just like, what characteristics make good friends? Like, what would you say is just some really good, like, foundational things that good friendships, good relationships like this need to have?
The first thing that comes to mind is honesty. Mm-hmm. That speaks for both friendships and slightly maybe mentorships as well. I feel like any relationship obviously needs to have
relationships
honesty.
in general, I would
But
say.
especially in a relationship like we have and like other people have, where you really have the opportunity to speak into somebody's life, not just me speaking to her, she speaks into me as well. You have to have the freedom to be honest.
And
you have
trust
to have
there too.
the trust,
Yeah, trust goes with
the freedom, the
honesty,
trust, the I guess trust was the other word I was looking for. You really have to believe in this person and know what they're about truly, to accept what they have to say. But also the person giving the honesty has to feel comfortable enough to say, I know this person is going to receive what I have to say. If they don't receive it well, part of that may be on them, and then where they're kind of standing with their defenses up. It also may be in the delivery. Regardless, that's communication styles. Regardless, you have to have that open line of communication where you both can be honest with each other. I think me and Danielle, just like any friendship does, we have to work on that. But it's gotten better as we've gotten older. So when she was a sophomore in high school, I probably had to say things a little more softer to Danielle. But now I'm like, yo girl, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
And I love it. And she really, Jordan's just so good with like pulling things out of me. And so I think that's also like
Danielle really tries not to talk about things.
Oh yeah. If you know me and if you know me and we're close and you're in my life, you know I just don't talk about my emotions. I keep things hidden. And so like to have a friend like Jordan, and I have other people in my life that do this too, but like having a friend like her who's like, no, like you're not okay. Let's sit down, let's talk about it. And like it's helped me so much. Like I'd be in a hole right now.
She would literally
something.
she tends to draw up. Not to make this about you. She does tend to draw up. So find a friend that's going to make you do the opposite of what is comfortable to you.
Yes. Like that you have similarities, but also that you're very different in like styles of handling things.
We're very different.
Yeah.
We're very much the same.
Yes.
But we are very different.
And that's
which
good.
Danielle probably pulls me into being like, probably pull back the reins a little bit. Because I'm like a very direct person, as we probably learned the other night.
Yeah.
Very direct person. Very direct person. I really tend to like, to me, there's no time to beat around the bush. There's no time to speak softly if there is there's no reason to speak softly.
Yeah.
So I tend to be like blunt, say it how it is. Danielle's probably like, so let's think about this maybe before we do it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about thinking about it.
Yeah. And for me, and I think we can both grow so much from each other's ways of doing that too, because for me I beat around the bush more than just being like, when a lot of times it's gonna be so much better if I'm just like, hey, you know, like and I just say it how it is.
Do it as you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but there is some times where you could pull, you know, like you said, pull back the reins, maybe not be as direct. So just finding that balance.
Perfect balance, yeah.
But having friends that balance you like that.
Yep.
And so I think that's
honesty.
Yeah.
Balance. What else? Do you have something?
I just said trust. That was my big thing, was just trust. So like,
and that does have to be built.
Yes,
it really does.
Yeah, obviously, like I'm not gonna go to you and just tell you my life story if I don't know you, you know. But just building that trust throughout the months, years, whatever, and then just being able to, you know, I know that whatever I tell you, you're gonna keep in confidence. You're gonna give me the advice that I need, that, you know, the best advice that you can give based on your experiences, and then I can, you know, receive it well or not receive it well, and that's on me, you know. And so just trust.
This I may be jumping ahead of cannot read the schedule here.
Bounce around.
I'm blind right now because I don't have my glasses on. I don't know if you were going to bring up the Enneagram. But
but that's great. I love that.
am a 6. If you want to know something about me, I'm a 6, which is a loyalist. Loyalist speaks for itself. 6s are also very scared people, typically. And I am, if you know anything about me. We can get into that later if you want. We don't have to. That's a whole thing. But
What's your wing?
7.
Wing 7. Okay.
6 wing 7 is called the buddy.
Okay.
Which is very much what I am.
Yeah.
I'm very go with the flow. I love to say yes to everything,
Yeah.
but also like there's a big pull because as I want to say yes to everything, I love to plan for things. So there's a bunch of anxiety there, just like a bunch of tension. But on the loyalist side, when I let someone into my inner circle, it takes a minute for them to get there because they have to prove themselves trustworthy, loyal. Absolutely. They have to like not really have any like, what's the right word? Counter. I know what you're trying to say. They don't need to want anything else from me. They don't want to take something and go.
Yeah. They're not going to use you.
Because I've been used a lot in my life and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
But once people are in my circle, they stay in my circle. I'm going to be loyal to them. And to me, it's easy for me to trust those people until they break that trust. Of course, there's things in life that happen that way. But if I'm speaking to the people out there, everyone's going to have their different levels of trust and what that looks like to be built for them. Whether you're a new friend or a new friendship or relationship or someone that they don't know, or if you've known them for 10 years and you're in a new season of your friendship and you're rebuilding what you used to have and it's going to look different, building that trust again is going to look very different. Of course, there's going to be inklings of what you guys had previously, but it's really going to be building something new. And there's nothing wrong with that, but remain open, remain willing to be transparent, but also lead with love. That sounds like such a stupid, cliche, cheesy sentence. Lead with love. But if you really think about it, to me, when I say lead with love, I mean lead with kindness, lead with grace, lead with how would I feel if I was in this situation? Put your
perspective is everything.
Give empathy. Do you know what empathy means? Empathy means taking your perspective and shifting it to the other person's. That really changes how you start feeling about them. So lead with kindness, lead with love to help build that trust. And then that's where the roots grow deep because everything else sprouts from that. But you build from the trust and you build from the basis that you've built on love and kindness and empathy.
Oh, so good.
All the good things that matter, the meat of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that didn't make sense.
No, it did. Okay. It did.
America,
y'all can piece it together. No, it really did.
Okay.
I love that. So we've talked about some good things. Let's talk about like some red flags.
Okay.
Red flags, and then also like when would you say is like the right time to move away from a friendship?
Okay.
You know, and like just seeing that. Obviously, you don't want to let a friendship go, but there comes a point where like sometimes you have to, and it's for the better.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that?
I feel like all of the answers to both of these questions can be very subjective. So anyone listening to this, take this with a grain of salt in comparison to your situation because this may not apply.
Yeah.
This is just from my experience, from Danielle's experience. It may apply great, and if it doesn't, don't be offended by it. Some red flags that I have seen personally that I've experienced is manipulation. If someone is communicating with you in a way that's trying to get you to do something for them, which that's not necessarily bad, but if it has an ulterior motive, that's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
If
motives.
The person has an ulterior motive behind what they're saying, but they're not communicating that, and they're wanting something that they're not willing to directly communicate to you, that's a red flag. If they're not willing to say, this is what I need, or this is what I want from you, but they're willing to twist it and like manipulate you into giving them what they need or want, red flag.
Yes.
Another red flag probably is people who do not support where you are in your season.
Ooh, that's good.
That may be...
That's good.
The first thing that comes to mind is maybe in your walk with God. I have lots of friends that over the past probably year and a half have just walked away from their relationships with the Lord in a deconstruction season, and they're kind of just like sitting and living in it. And my life looks very different from that. And just because they're choosing to do something that makes sense for their life right now doesn't mean that I can't support them in that.
Mm-hmm.
Same with me. Say someone who's never had a relationship with the Lord sees my life and my walk with God and my walk with my friends looking completely different than their life. If they can't see themselves supporting me, red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they would expect support from me and their lifestyle, but they're not willing to give it to me, that's not fair.
Yep.
Let's talk about why you're wanting something from me that you're not willing to give.
Yeah.
Red flag. Going on from there, what is the word I'm looking for? It's been a very long day, guys, and my brain is very tired.
No, you're doing so good,
Continuing
though.
on with this theme, supporting people,
Yep.
even in seasons where you wouldn't do anything that they're doing. I have some friends that sometimes make choices that I probably would not make myself, but that's probably a Joe thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's probably a them thing that they're choosing to do. But support and love look different. Support and grace look different. Support and friendship look different.
Yeah.
For everyone. For me, I choose to stay in friendship with these people with no expectation of anything in return. And saying, I love you and I choose to be friends with you with nothing in return.
Yeah.
You could never give me another thing in my life. And I am okay being your friend because you are kind to me.
Yep.
You love me. You support me. You walk beside me, even though our lives look completely different. We are night and day. And there are people that like nobody here at church knows about. There are people I went to high school with that I'm still very close to.
Yeah.
And their lives look completely different than mine. But we are cheering each other on in any season because we would want that from each other.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's a green flag.
That's good, yeah.
Green flag. Do you have any red flags?
I just said, like, drama. And what I mean by
Yes.
that is, like, if all
Yes.
this person wants to do is just talk to you about other people or about, you know, whatever, then that's not the friendship for you. And I mean for you, I mean for me. Also, if you're scared to be yourself around them, like if you're like holding
that's
back like a part of yourself because you're afraid of what they might think of you, that's probably not okay. You know what I'm saying? There was something else. I guess just like, I mean, one example is I had a friendship a few years back where like, this is what I was going to say, and this example helps with it. So I started to, you know, it was a lot of drama every time she would come to me, she'd be talking about somebody, and I started to see myself change because of that. I started to be more dramatic and start talking about people and being more negative. My family started seeing changes in me. My friends started seeing changes in me. And so when you start changing for the worse and people around you start noticing that, then just probably we need to like analyze the friendship that's going on and get down to the root of the problem. So I'd say if you see yourself changing for
and everyone else
thing,
that used to be friends with you kind of scattering,
kind of like scattering away.
you
or
find
like,
yourself isolated. You're like, oh, people probably aren't liking the way that I'm behaving.
Exactly. So yeah, that's just one example. And look, and I'm good now. Got away from that, and that was just, you know, I needed to step back from that friendship, and now look at me now. Like, you know, I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Yep.
So yeah, if you see yourself changing, don't change yourself for like anybody.
Yep.
You know, unless you're making yourself better, unless you're getting better, and you feel okay with that. But yeah.
Another red flag. This is more of a practical thing. This is something that happened with me in a friendship that I kind of just chose to walk away from because it was way more exhausting than it was life-giving. Which is also another thing to analyze. Is it life-giving or is it sucking the life out of you?
Yes, that's good.
When someone asks you to do all of the things, come meet me, come do this, come bring me this, or I want to see you, but only if you're willing to do most of the work. Question mark.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
So why can't you do half the work? Why can't you meet me halfway? Why can't we do, I drive to you one day, you drive to me one day? And like this person lived like hours away from me. So like it made no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did it like once or twice and I was like, this is so not practical for my life. And it's okay for you to say no.
Yeah.
It's okay for you
Boundaries.
to see a friendship.
Boundaries.
When your boundaries are being violated, that's when you walk away from a friendship.
Yes. Absolutely.
Period.
Ooh, that's good. That's the line. Why do we talk for so long? That's the line. When your boundaries are being violated, that's for anything, relationships, friendships, like work,
Now this is a very
whatever.
This is a very important thing to say as well. When you do choose to walk away from a friendship or you do choose to walk away from a relationship, there's a way to do it with grace.
Yes.
even if you've been hurt in the worst way. There's a way to do it respectfully. There's a way to do it with love. There's a way to do it and not regret anything that you've done. Because I've done that before. I've walked away from friendships and I've walked away from relationships and I've said things that I really regret. And I wish I could go back now and walk away in a peaceful way, because now I think about that and I'm like, that probably hurt them. And that was a little unnecessary. I know I was probably hurt in the friendship. I know I was probably let down a couple times.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give me a right to disrespect someone. So if you're a young person listening to this, please just remember that there's always a respectful way to do everything in your life.
Yeah.
And don't act out of emotion. Don't act out of frustration. Don't act out of anger. Take a minute, take a deep breath. Let that motivate you in a healthy way, but don't let it control everything that you do.
Oh, that's so good. Guys, this is why Jordan's on I'm so glad Jordan's on the podcast.
Yay.
Joe, I love you.
Thanks. Love
That's
you
so
too.
good. And this next question we should have just talked about it right after you talked about getting married so young, because I feel like it kind of went in with your bridesmaids. How have your friendships changed as you've grown up and moved through seasons of life?
Okay.
And how have you been able to navigate that?
It's hard.
Yeah.
That's about all I have to
Because
say.
I thought the wedding was such a perfect example of when
Yeah.
y'all got married so young, like your friend group has like completely changed,
Yeah.
and shifted. So
Dylan only has, of course, other than his brothers, Dylan has 2 brothers. He's one of 3. So we each had 5. I just hit the microphone again. I'm so sorry. We each had 5. Dylan had 2 brothers, Blake, Zach, my brother-in-law.
I forgot Blake was in there.
Blake.
And Zach. I don't know why I forgot.
And Zach. And then he had a friend that he used to work with that he still talks to sometimes, but they're nowhere near as close as they were before. So that's kind of moved on. I also had 5, and I talked to maybe 3 out of the 5.
Yeah. And Blake's still a big part of y'all's lives. Like
Blake is a huge
yeah,
part
I was
of our
gonna
lives.
say, literally, he's a vital part of everyone's life.
Yes.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know this, but Dylan lived with Blake for 3 years
Yes.
before we got married. Dylan, for those of you that don't know this, I'm not going to share the whole story. Dylan moved here in the beginning of 2015 from Arizona to move to Tennessee. He lived with my grandmother for a certain period of time because she was having some health issues, and he kind of took care of the house and was doing the practical things. And then when he couldn't drive from Mount Juliet to Murfreesboro anymore, he moved in with Blake and a roommate. And that friendship has just stayed locked in. And Blake has taken care of us in seasons.
Yes.
We've taken care of him in seasons. Real shout out to Blake Evans.
Yes, Blake Evans.
'Kay.
Just a teaser before you move on. Blake will be in the podcast very soon. Just a teaser. So stay tuned. Blake's
I'll be
on the
watching
podcast.
that one.
Yes. So love you, Blake. Okay.
So my relationships.
Yes. How have they shifted?
That is a good question.
Yeah.
One of my longest friendships, I really thought was one that I needed to let go, probably in the past couple of years, just because nothing bad really happened. It's just maybe some natural frustration that happens when you grow apart from each other. Let's talk about that. That's normal. It's normal to feel tension. It's normal to feel frustrated when life happens and you start not talking anymore, blah, 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 blah. Nothing happened. No one was really hurt. But I was like, it just makes sense for it to just
yes.
be let go. No one's hurt. We'll just, whatever. That was a nice run.
Yeah.
And then it picked back up recently, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Not that I had any bad expectation, but I really kind of had no expectation going in, because I guess I just didn't want to be hurt, or I didn't want to have a high expectation and then be let down.
Yeah.
But that's going really well.
That's awesome.
I guess one thing I can say, my stomach's
Right. I heard it again.
talking again. I'm very hungry, guys. Go in with open expectation. Go in with open hands and say, here are my expectations. Here's a prayer for you. Lord, I'm sitting here with my open hands and I'm holding my expectations. Take what you want and give what you need. So I have healthy things in my hands. I don't want to be holding anything that isn't healthy or isn't of the Lord.
Yeah.
Whether that's a friendship,
Yep.
whether that's an attitude I have, whether that's a lifestyle I'm living. I don't want to live anything that the Lord isn't handing me, or He isn't telling me to do, or He isn't leading me into.
Yep.
So my friendships have come and go. Like, can we name drop here? There's no beef with this person.
Yeah.
Bree Downs. Y'all know Snooki? We text once every 6 months. And it's like
I just realized you said that.
Yeah, she was called that growing up. I don't know why. It was before Jersey Shore, so definitely wasn't because of that. But we text once every 6 months, and it's like we never stop texting. We are just BFFs, and we
Yeah.
probably will be to the day we die.
That's awesome.
And her life looks completely different than it did at my wedding and than it did 3 years ago. Like, her life has just changed so much, and that's okay. And that's okay for us to live completely separate lives and still be friends and say, I support you. I love what you're doing. You're busy. I'm busy. Do your thing, girl.
For real. Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
that's how a lot of my friendships have gone. We're just living two separate lives. We're busy people. We're tired people. We have no time to meet up, but we love each other and we see each other for who we are. There's friendships like Danielle that have just grown and have flourished and have grown into something I never imagined, but I now cannot imagine my life without it.
Yeah.
People like Brittany Spicer. God bless Brittany Spicer. Anyone
She's
who knows
a
Brittany.
godsend.
Anyone who knows Brittany
I'm trying
loves
to get
Brittany.
her on too. I need y'all to show her some support down in the comments or something. I'm trying to get her on this podcast.
Pause. I just hit this microphone.
The Spicer fam.
On
The Spicer
Instagram,
fam's
you can
amazing.
message at the Brittany Spicer, and please spam her with all the messages
Yes.
telling her to jump on the podcast because
Yes.
y'all think I got wisdom.
Oh my
she's got
gosh, y'all.
exponential wisdom far
Like-
above anything that
And
I could
literally,
ever
it
give
could be
you.
any topic. It does not matter what it is.
Literally, it's probably. You could ask her what color pillow needs to match my couch. She's gonna give you the most beautiful answer you've ever heard, and it's gonna be correct.
Yes.
You're gonna ask her, "Do I need to let this relationship go?"
Right.
And she's gonna give you the best answer you've ever heard in your entire life.
Exactly.
This woman is a godsend.
Like, and her and Nick both. I'm just like, the amount of wisdom in that family. Like, those children are gonna grow up and just be like scholars.
Another piece of
They
wisdom
don't
that I
even-
have
they
for
don't have to
you.
go to school. They're just
Speaking
parents.
into mentorships, find someone
Yeah.
like the Spicers.
Yes,
If y'all don't know
absolutely.
who the Spicers are, I will pray for you to find a Spicer.
Everyone needs a Spicer in their life.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because I've walked through times in my faith where I've questioned things heavily. I have been confused. I have been hurt. I have been filled with all of these questions and thoughts and lies, but thinking that they were truth because I had no one speaking truth into me.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff can cloud your mind and your brain, but you need someone speaking truth into you. That is what Nick Spicer has been to me. Oh my gosh, God bless Nick Spicer. I ask him the hard questions that I would be embarrassed to ask Jesus. And I know you should never be embarrassed to ask Jesus questions, but sometimes you need that truth from a practical sense of someone standing you right in the face, looking you in the eyes, saying, let that go.
Yeah.
You can do better.
Yep.
Or you're doing great. And I can see that you're really trying, and the Lord sees that and he honors it. So Danielle sees me as her mentor, and I am so honored by that. I see Nick as my mentor. I also have a couple of other mentors. You know, they kind of all just speak into different areas of my life. But
I wouldn't say just have one mentor. Like, I think it's important to have
Yes.
many, many people
yes,
that you can get, different advice from, even on one topic. Like, ask different
make
people.
sure they give sound information.
Yeah, and make
you can
sure
find some phony people.
I was gonna say, make sure it's like a good, probably, faith-based, biblical person. Whatever.
Whatever follows your values.
Yeah, exactly.
Find someone that speaks into that and that you trust. Because I've been saved a lot from going down some dark, confusing paths for people speaking life into me.
And I say faith-based just because that's the environment that I'm in.
Sure,
But
that's what we're walking
But
in.
yeah, that's my personal experience. But just like she said, whoever has the same values as you.
If you're in your career field, find a mentor that's going to speak into your
Yes,
next season and help you
exactly.
set goals and help you move forward towards that.
Yep.
You know,
Nick's
whatever.
definitely been a person, especially like right now in my life. Nick has been a big person because we work together. So, we're always doing stuff together. And so he's been a person that's really been speaking into my life, and he's so wise and stuff too. But yeah, mentors are amazing.
Yes.
So you always need a mentor. Everyone.
Absolutely.
And I've told you this, something Pastor Bryce told me, because I asked him, because he's one of my mentors too. And I asked him, what is like the best leadership advice you've ever been given or that you could give somebody?
Yeah.
And he said, every leader needs a leader. I was like, that's crazy. And then we did the Bible study, Boy Jesus, and he was in, where he was in
never
the
heard
temple.
of
He was
this.
12 years old.
Boy Jesus?
Yes, that was the story. In the Bible, it's called Boy Jesus.
Okay, I thought you meant
the
like an
name
actual
of the
study.
The name of the study.
That's embarrassing.
I'll cut that out. I'm just kidding.
Story of my life. It's embarrassing.
No, it was the name of the Bible study in
Okay.
in that specific story where he's in the temple, and he's 12 years old and he's with all the scholars and the teachers and stuff, and his parents leave and they come back. And he's in there. Jesus is in there. He's 12 years old. And he's like listening to all these people asking them questions. And I'm like, this is Jesus. He doesn't need anybody. He already has so much revelation. He already has so much wisdom. But he is leading by example and being led by others.
Yep.
And so I just think
if you ever think you've reached the top and don't need someone speaking into you,
that's when you need somebody speaking into you.
You need someone even more than normal people.
Right. Everyone. Every person in my life that is mentoring me has a mentor.
Yep.
Like, and it just
never
keeps going
ending
up
cycle.
So that's a little snippet about mentorship, which I love.
Good,
We got to throw that in there. I love that.
Yes.
And friendships and mentorships can go together too.
Absolutely.
Because like
a lot of them do go hand in hand.
They do.
I mean, you have to build that relationship first from somewhere, unless you kind of get a plug from someone else saying, "Hey, I know of this great person that can speak into your life. Here's their number."
All my mentors were friends first.
Yep.
So
I agree.
So that's just how it is.
Yep.
But man, that was good. That was a good little snippet
a little sneak
about
peeky
mentorship. I guess we'll just kind of end with, and I know we've talked about this the entire time, but what does a healthy friendship look like? Like, what's just some key points that like truly just healthy friendships look like? You could even give like biblical examples. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but or just in your life.
I have really bad memory and don't really remember a lot of Bible stories.
I wrote some examples down when thinking about this. I think of like Paul and Timothy.
Yes.
They were like really good examples of that. David and Jonathan were really good examples of that.
Yeah.
So just thinking about that and looking to them, because I'm a Christian. I read the Bible. So just looking to them that's where our basis comes from, is from the Bible.
Yep.
In my life at least. And so just looking at that's where I get my guidance from. So seeing like their friendships and then trying to model that in my life. And then I read on a scripture, Proverbs 18:24, one of my favorite verses. It says, one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And so that literally reminded me of you, because I feel like we're friends, but like
That's so sweet.
I consider you a sister.
That's considered
So something like that.
Too.
But yeah, what kind of do you want to end with as far as like healthy friendships? Any last advice?
Big highlight points.
Yeah, we can just recap.
Make sure you find people who pour life into you, people who respect your boundaries, and maybe help you reevaluate and build healthier boundaries.
Yeah.
If they see you, going back to the honesty as well, if they see you struggling and say, "Hey, Danielle, I think," probably in a more loving way than this, an actual conversation, not a podcast. "Hey, I think you've been struggling with this, or you've shared with me that you've been struggling with this. Let's try this solution. Have you thought about this?"
Yep.
Improving the healthiness of your life, improving the health of your life and the boundaries. Do not find someone who is violating your boundaries and then not finding that a problem. Say if you do find someone and a good close friend of yours, I would hope that if I'm violating some of Danielle's boundaries, she would speak to me and she would say, "Hey, I have this kind of built for a reason. I'd love to stay within this."
Yeah.
Or, "This is a boundary that I've set." Me as a healthy friend, you should have a healthy friend that should say, "I respect that. Thank you for letting me know. I want to respect you."
Yeah.
Find someone who respects you. Find someone who can make you laugh.
Yes, that's good. That's so important.
Because nobody's trying to have a snooze fest.
Right. And isn't it a thing like the more you laugh, the longer you live?
Yeah, I would be like 102.
It's probably not scientific, but like,
Spiritually.
Spiritually, and it's good for the soul.
People love
It's
happy
good for
spirits.
the soul. Yeah.
People love happy spirits.
Exactly.
Yeah. Honesty, boundaries,
Trust.
love.
Yeah. One thing I
Humor.
had was like peace. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
And something Sarah told me was,
Because Sarah's the most peaceful person in the
I know.
world. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we were talking one time, and she's one of my mentors too, and she said follow peace, and that's always stuck with me. So like follow peace in everything that you do, in your friendships.
Lead with love.
Right.
Follow peace.
Like it's like just with everything you do, with every decision that you make, like follow peace. If you have peace in your heart and your soul that it's right, then follow that. And so like with friendships, with relationships, whatever, like follow peace. And I don't think that can really ever steer you wrong if you truly have peace in your soul. I think that's just,
absolutely.
That's really good.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Yes.
So good.
Yes, this is so good. Anything else you want to add? I think we covered a lot, and it was amazing.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Let's go. Jordan, Joe, J-O. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
on
you
the
for
podcast.
having me.
Right.
Pursuing purpose.
Yes. Love you. All
Love
right.
you.
Peace out.
Peace, y'all.